Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Ignacio Carreras. Ignacio is a project development manager for AMEA Power. AMEA Power is a big developer in the region. Above all, a pioneering project developer for renewable energy projects and now hydrogen projects, particularly across Africa. So Ignacio, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation, Nadim.
Yeah. So AMEA Power, I think, has a strong record, over a gigawatt of projects built or under construction, a big pipeline. I think, how many gigawatts are in your pipeline?
So in pipeline we have almost 6 gigawatts.
6 gigawatts, and now we're seeing some big projects on hydrogen. Can you give us a little bit of feel for the business? You're obviously pioneering in the sense of that you've worked in countries such as Burkina Faso, which has had several coups since you built your project, in Djibouti, in countries where other developers fear to go. So can you give us a little bit of background to the business and working in these areas and countries and providing what is vital energy infrastructure in countries where it's tough to get projects done?
Absolutely. So AMEA Power, as our name stands for, is Africa, Middle East, and Asia. So our key focus now is Africa. Africa is a huge continent with a lot of opportunities because there is a lot of room to develop infrastructure and in particular energy projects. So it is true, it's a challenging environment, not only to develop projects because so many times there is lack of infrastructure, but also to move ahead with the financing and also with the construction because there is no many contractors, equipment, and so on. So it is a challenging environment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, whenever we see a challenge, we see an opportunity. It's a niche for us because there is no many other developers working in this area.
Yeah.
And this allowing us to leverage our expertise. So AMEA Power, how we tackle this project is with a very heterogeneous team. So actually, in our company, we are not even like 100 employees, but we have almost 40 different nationalities.
Wow.
So this allows us to go everywhere and to understand the different cultures, the different countries, and how to mitigate these risks. Yeah, there are risks in these countries, but the importance and our added value and competitive advantage is on how do we manage and control these risks.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that lack of infrastructure and roads and also contractors and pile drivers and other basic tools to get projects built. So in terms of, obviously you've got a lot of experience in renewables. We're here at World Hydrogen MENA talking about hydrogen. Is there a specific role you can see hydrogen can play in helping develop Africa's energy infrastructure, which is maybe not going to follow the pathway that we've seen in other countries, but potentially attract industries and look at developing a resilient energy infrastructure?
Yeah, that's a very good point, Nadim.
Yeah.
So, many times when we talk about green hydrogen or green ammonia projects, we only think on the export. And that's true, that's an option, but because there's a huge demand that we are seeing in regions like Europe or Japan for green fuels.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is also creating an opportunity to further develop the industries in these countries. For example, one of the projects that we have most advanced in is in Egypt. So in Egypt, there is a huge industry already present. We are talking that, for example, ammonia, where Egypt is the 9th worldwide manufacturer.
9th, yeah.
9th.
Okay.
Then we have steel, which is the 19th, and there are other industries that will require now green hydrogen.
Yeah.
Because it's very important to keep in mind that starting October this year, there is going to be a new carbon tax, the CBAM, applies in Europe for any ammonia steel to be imported.
Yeah.
So now there's a huge opportunity for countries like Egypt to develop further their infrastructure or their industries and to really become a market leader on exporting products like ammonia, steel that requires green hydrogen.
Yeah.
So this is not only about exporting fuels, but it's also about further industrializing these economies.
Yeah. Industrialization, it will give them the opportunity to get products that they can sell at a green premium, and clearly being able to produce green hydrogen at lowest cost is going to give them that opportunity and hopefully attract industry and industrial development opportunities. So it's a good point. And do governments across the region begin to understand that and see that opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. We are seeing the case of countries like Morocco, Egypt, and Oman, where they have been playing an active role. And I think the case of Egypt is a successful one because they have managed to put together all the different agencies and to bring them together to the same table, and to also schedule frequent roundtables with all the developers. So it really allows for a very fluid and transparent communication, where you have the utility company, you have the industrial zone, the Ministry of Electricity, and all the different public stakeholders, in the same room. So this allows, to really move much faster than on other occasions where you don't have this sort of this support. So definitely the leadership of these countries are being key on developing these new projects, and we are seeing this support.
What's the scale of that project in Egypt?
So in Egypt, we are developing a 1 gigawatt green hydrogen project that is going to produce over 800,000 tons of green ammonia. But we are not the only one. There are other developers moving ahead with projects. I think right now we are 7 or 8 companies that have signed framework agreements, which are binding agreements, and probably among all of us, I think we'll be somewhere around the 10 million tons of green ammonia a year.
And that's a big project, gigawatt projects. And are you seeing that as also another difference between, say, renewable energy and hydrogen? I noticed you're exhibiting here, and you have a big map of Africa, and a lot of your work has always been around the sort of 30 megawatts and 50 megawatts, lots of solar plants, etc. Suddenly, bang, you're going into hydrogen and you're talking gigawatts. Is that going to be a difference you see?
That's a very good point. Look, the key difference when we talk about green hydrogen and green ammonia price is that it's economies of scale needed to meet this threshold where you are competitive. Unfortunately, the threshold nowadays with the current economies of scale is higher. So we need to develop projects of at least 300, 500 or even 1 gigawatt size in order to be able to bridge that threshold and be competitive. Because at the end of the day, these projects are going to have to develop a lot of infrastructure. We are talking about water desalination plants, piping infrastructure, storage, fuel tanks, substation, transmission lines, even to upgrade the port, the jetties, all the export infrastructure. So this is some massive project that requires a huge size in order to dilute all this cost.
So it's kind of like different game. It's a big stakes poker.
Absolutely.
The desalination part across the region, are you looking at potential opportunities to overscale out those desalination plants to provide extra water for other industries?
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, in ocean water desalination plants, it's important the economies of scale and the sizes. So, for example, typical ranges that you could see around 100,000 cubic meters per day. Maybe it's a bit oversized for a project. Like, for example, for our project, we'll probably need around 20,000 cubic meters per day. So there will be an opportunity to have surplus water. And the good thing is that it's very competitive water. And when we talk about Africa, especially North Africa, it's areas where they really lack of fresh water. So there's another opportunity to develop this infrastructure and to increase the fresh water supply to this region.
So you're developing a project which is providing hydrogen, which is providing green ammonia, which is also providing fresh water as well, and that is a product and output from the project. Fascinating to talk to you. Great work that you're doing, pioneering work. I can imagine it's incredibly difficult in terms of getting all of those parties around a room and agreeing. Such incredibly large infrastructure projects. So well done.
Thank you, Nadim.
We look forward to hearing more and seeing you develop more and more projects, and especially taking that opportunity about developing a clean energy infrastructure across Africa. It's going to be a great opportunity, and also massively needed. So many thanks.
Perfect.
Great chatting to you.
Thank you, Nadim.